Alright, so last night when we tried to film this, we didn't press record and we got all the way through the intro, the demo. Let's not do that again today, okay? Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are playing in the Sephora Pro Face Palette. I've had this for quite some time now. I want to say easily at least 3 to 4 weeks I've been playing with it, and y'all know I have to give you a demo, share my thoughts with you. So I was super excited when I saw Sephora was coming out with this palette, just simply because I feel like, is it just me? Is it just me? I feel like when brands launch face palettes, the light spectrum is always covered, medium always covered, but for some reason once we get to the deep dark, I just feel like it falls short, you know what I mean? So it's nice to see, and we're not talking cream products, we're talking powder, an actual powder face palette that is catered to women of color, dark-skinned women, brown-skinned women. I think this is fantastic. The main purpose for me buying this was for my client kit because I did not have a powder palette for my women of color. I have things, but it's just all these random little knickknacks here and there, and when you are a professional makeup artist, it's just easier to have things in palette form. I'm not gonna lie, when you have one thing over here, one thing over there, and I guess I know a lot of girls, they like to depot and make their own. I don't have time for that, okay? I have so many different things going on to take the time out to depot it, and I get it, that way it's custom, you can use exactly what you like, but for me, if I could find it all in one palette, winning for me. I don't mind paying for convenience. I'm that girl. So this is what the palette looks like, and I am going to first, obviously everyone's probably looking at these two shades here. We have the shade Epic, which is a really deep contour shade. Then we have the shade up here, Jet Setter. Now I was playing with this in one of my videos, I can't remember, and Epic I showed you was just way too dark for me. We're gonna go ahead and do a demo today. I am going to swatch a little bit of Epic just right here on my jawline, that way you guys can kind of get a better idea of what it looks like, because Epic is epic, okay? It's epic. Let me zoom you in. Alright, foundation and concealer already on. I'm wearing the Loreal Fresh Wear in the shade 525 and the Loreal Fresh Wear Concealer in the shade Honey 415. Someone had mentioned about me using more drugstore products in a previous video, and I said, you know what? I can do that. Unfortunately, these are really only the drugstore products that I have, but and on my eyes, I had to blow the dust off of the ABH Riviera palette, and this is exactly why I did not purchase the Alyssa Edwards palette. I love ABH. I think Alyssa Edwards is dope. That palette looks beautiful. However, I can count on one hand how many times I have touched Riviera, and you guys know we only really need to buy what we're going to use, so that is why I did not get the ABH times Alyssa Ashley times Alyssa Edwards, but Riviera, gotta put her to use because I gotta get my money's worth. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a little contour brush here, and I'm going to just kind of swirl around in Epic, and beware, it's dark. Like, if you're trying to get chiseled, if you're really trying to take it there, this will get you there. This is definitely too dark for my skin tone, but I wanted to show you guys. If I really wanted to be super structured and used this to really seriously contour me, I could do it, but this is not something that I would use on me on a regular basis. I would only seriously use this on me if I was doing a photo shoot. That's the only way that I could really understand me using this. On a day-to-day life, no, it's just not my tone. Now, the shade Jet Setter down here, Jet Setter is super warm. It is the total opposite. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put some of Jet Setter on my face over here, just so you guys can see how warm it is. And just for the sake of the video, I'll put some Epic down here too, just so this way you can see the two side by side. No, we're not walking around like this. This is just simply for swatching purposes because I really want you guys to get the full effect of what it looks like. Okay, now that we have both of them on my face, you can see this is super, super cool. This is much, much warmer on the skin. So if I wanted to, I could wear Jet Setter on its own, but let's say if maybe I didn't want to be too warm, what I have been doing when I'm wearing this palette, I have been mixing the two together. So mainly swirling in here in Jet Setter and then getting a touch of Epic and just kind of swirling it on the face. And I feel like that gives it a good tone to the fact where it's not too warm, not too cool, not too dark. Here, we'll do that over here too. Okay, now I am going to go down the sides of my nose here. So you can see, I think this looks much nicer on my skin versus this. And I think I'm just gonna buff that down if I can. Let me get a big brush here, see if we can. We might just be stuck with a little shadow on the jaw. So if my jaw looks super snatched, y'all know why. Don't judge me. This is just for swatching purposes. All right, next up for blush, I didn't think this through. Now, I don't really necessarily feel like I have a good blush color option just because of my eyes. I literally sat down and just started creating, and this is what I came up with. And that's when I get upset because I feel like that's when my eye looks come out the best, when I'm not under the pressure of being in front of the camera. But if you guys are interested in this look, let me know. I know it's not a everyday kind of girl eyeshadow look, but I don't know, maybe you're going on vacation, maybe you're going out, maybe you're trying to have a hot girl summer. I don't know, I don't judge, but just let me know. Okay, so I'm thinking, I believe I used the red and the orange the last time. So we're gonna go in with Premier just simply because I feel like it's going to work the best with what my eye look is. And this is a beautiful, this almost reminds me of MAC Raisin, to be honest. That's really pretty. And then for other swatches here, Red Carpet, which I think is beautiful. I'll swatch it on the back of my hand here. How it's swatching on my hand is not a good representation, but this is Red Carpet. And then After Party, which is this orange right here. And it does have a touch of shimmer in it, but it's not anything that's too aggressive. I love reds and orange tone blushes, especially on my deeper chocolatey girls. They just look so pretty. So those are the blushes. So we talked about the bronzer, contour, the blushes. Now we have this shade Queen here. Now Queen, definitely it looks more metallic. I would not use this as, I mean, honestly, I would use this as an eyeshadow if you want to keep it 100, because that's just stunning. You could use that as an eyeshadow or a blush topper. And then we have the shade Glitz here, which is just this beautiful metallic. It's like a pearly purple lavender blue. Again, another shade I would probably, and the reflex on it, I would definitely use this on my eyes. I would not put that on my face. And then we have the beautiful highlighter shade LA. These highlighters in here are beautiful, and you can put all of these. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, you can use these, all of these colors on your eyes. You can use all of these colors on your face. You could do that. Now that I'm looking at this palette, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't do it this way, you could put all of these on your eyes and your face, and it would be a look. I'm so mad at myself. Maybe that'll be another video. Okay, so let's go with the obvious LA, the gold shade. That's really, really pretty. Now, if you are someone who likes highlight, you will love these because they are very, very pretty, metallic. It's a little too potent for my everyday wear as far as highlighter, because you guys know I'm not a highlighter kind of girl. However, now let's talk about who this palette is for. A while ago, I did a video called Unnecessary Makeup, and in the video, I was talking about products that I felt were necessary for the everyday consumer and products that I felt like were unnecessary. For me, personally, I feel like big face palettes, whoa, like this, are unnecessary for the average everyday consumer because you are not going to use half of the shades in the palette. That's kind of how I look at it. When I'm buying something specifically for me, especially if it's some kind of face palette or even with eyeshadows, any type of palette, I always like to analyze the palette and say, okay, would you use at least half? Would you use 3/4 of it? If the answer is yes, go ahead and buy it. But how many people, consumers, can look at this palette and say, you know what, I would at least use half of these colors? Not everyone. Me personally, I do not feel like this is a palette that everyone needs. I do not feel like this is a palette that the everyday consumer would need. First of all, it's $58. That is steep. However, I understand why it's $58 because first of all, the packaging, it's heavy. This is legit stuff. And look how big the pan sizes are, and you get 2, 4, 6, 8 large pans. I get it, it totally makes sense. Now, is that justifiable for a professional makeup artist, someone who does makeup for a living? Absolutely. For the everyday person, no, just simply because it's gonna take you a long time to hit pan on these anyhow. So you're not gonna probably use all the shades. You're not gonna probably use half of the shades. You're never gonna be able to go through it. I just don't think it is a practical buy for the everyday woman. Now, flip side, if you're a makeup artist, absolutely. If you're a makeup junkie, makeup enthusiast, absolutely. But everyday, I don't think it's everyday consumer friendly, but that's just my thoughts on it. Now, as far as the consistency in the formula, I like these a lot. They're very, very smooth. They're easy to go on. They don't get patchy. They don't bleed throughout the day. The blushes are extremely pigmented. You guys saw how rich in depth the contour is. The bronzer is a beautiful bronzer shade. It's not too warm. Like if you keep loading it on and loading it on, I mean, you can do that with any bronzer. You can get bronzer heavy, but even alone or even mixed in with the contour, I think it's beautiful. These metallic shades here are insane. I mean, look at that. And the blushes, I feel, are beautiful. I think Sephora did an excellent job when it came to just picking the appropriate shades for the deep spectrum. So it's gonna wrap up the video. That's just my 2 cents. Down below, let me know if you have tried this palette or if you plan on it. Also, I wanna hear some of your favorite bronzers, contours, and blushes, all right? You guys know the deal. Keep it simple, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.